My phone is on silent, but it still managed to wake me up. The yellow flashing glare, perhaps, or a sort of fuzzing of atoms. It's 2 a.m, and I see on the screen it's my Newsnight editor, Ian Katz. No thanks, I think. I hide it under a book about psychological warfare. It's the heaviest one next to the bed. Ian has a way of wanting to talk about things at odd hours. He normally catches up on his texts around 1 a.m, which is lovely for him, but slightly confusing for everyone else. This time, I'm not in the mood. It's a Friday night in November 2015. I've just stepped off a plane from Washington after 2 weeks on the road reporting. My body doesn't know what continent I'm in or what day it is. I've had a vodka shot and a blue sleeping pill, and frankly, I'm out for the count. But 5 hours later, my phone's still ringing from the depths of psychological warfare, where it's been buried, and this time it's my deputy editor, Rachel Jupp. Her voice sounds both apologetic and pleading. We need you to go to Paris. I'm still asleep. My eyes won't open, my mouth is gluey and stuck, but my mind has raced ahead to the sense of what she's saying, and from nowhere I hear myself weighing up her request, asking the worst question a journalist can ask. How many? And she tells me more than 100 are dead, many inside the Bataclan theatre. Several gunmen are still on the loose. 2 hours later, I'm on the Eurostar. My usual grab bag, packed for emergency travel, had just been emptied into the wash, so I've scrabbled together just enough to see me through the next 48 hours. Something dignified for on-air reporting, something warm for all the waiting around, something waterproof for when the heavens open, a zillion chargers, adapters, cables, 3 slabs of dark chocolate for skip meal replenishment. There is a familiarity to this journey. Just 10 months earlier, I'd taken the same Eurostar to cover the Charlie Hebdo massacre. Subliminally, I've begun to associate the city of light with darkness and fear. The Gare du Nord still makes me shake. This time, scrolling through emails on the train, I find a generic BBC one sent to all of us heading to Paris. It tells us to avoid a black licence plate-free Renault if we see it. They believe it's being used by the terrorists and is packed full of explosives. The email's meant to be helpful, but it makes me burst into tears. I haven't seen my kids for 2 weeks. I haven't slept more than a few hours in 2 days. I haven't eaten since the plane, and now I'm being told to avoid black cars. What am I even doing? Paris isn't really working when I arrive. You can't get a cab. Police barricades are up all over. The streets are eerily empty in parts, rammed full in other places where spontaneous vigils have sprung up. We broadcast for an hour, a BBC Two Saturday afternoon special from outside the Bataclan. We're asking people to give us eyewitness accounts of events they haven't even processed. I find the band, U2, leaving flowers beside our live point, their own commemoration of young lives lost in the simple act of attending a concert. The terrorists have struck when Europe's already feeling fragile. The migrant crisis has brought thousands from the Middle East and Africa, some seeking asylum, others better employment, marching across the continent and making EU politicians assess their own political response to the outsider. That night, as we try and piece together the scale of the tragedy, all sorts of conflicting narratives begin to emerge. That the terrorists were homegrown, or Syrian, or from neighbouring Belgium. That they were ISIS fighting jihad in France, or they were disenfranchised young men betrayed by their treatment as Muslim French citizens. It's too early to know why it's happened. We barely understand what has happened. Over the weekend, we see the raw Gothic beauty of Notre Dame reflected in the flickering of 100 tiny candles of remembrance on the ground. In Place de la République, a shrine has evolved, photos of loved ones, white roses, a lone violinist, playing of the pain which has only just started to seep into this grieving city. As I cross the square, a French reporter recognises me and asks if we, the English, are sympathetic. It's such an extraordinary thing to ask. I feel my eyes welling up again. Surely we're beyond the 100 Years' War, the neighbourly rivalry of World Cup penalties. I can't even find the words to tell him that, yes, God knows, we are.